Teni opened her eyes 3 days later. The smell of antiseptic told her she was in a hospital. She looked down and saw a drip attached to her hand. Her body felt heavy and her head was still throbbing from where Mrs. Balogun had dragged her by the hair. She was alone. No husband sat by her bed. No sister brought her food. The silence was louder than any shout. Just as she was trying to adjust her pillow, the door opened. It wasn't a doctor. It was a man in a sharp black suit carrying a leather briefcase. "Good morning, Mrs. Balogun, or should I say Miss Teni," the man said coldly. He pulled a chair close to her bed and sat down. He didn't ask how she was feeling. He just opened his bag and pulled out a stack of papers. "I am Segun's lawyer. My client wants to end this marriage immediately. Sign these papers so we can all move on." Teni looked at the papers, her eyes filling with tears. "He couldn't even wait for me to leave the hospital? Does Segun have no soul at all?" "Sign the papers, Teni," the lawyer urged. "And if I refuse," Teni snapped, her voice trembling, "he drugged me. He set me up with another man. I can tell the police. I can fight this." The lawyer laughed, a dry, nasty sound. "With what evidence? Everyone saw you in that hotel room. If you fight this, we will go to the newspapers and the blogs. We will tell the whole of Nigeria that you are a common cheat. We will also dig up your late mother's past. We will tell the world she was a side chick who had you out of wedlock. Do you want to disgrace your mother's memory?" Teni felt her heart stop. Her mother was her only treasure. Even though people called her an illegitimate child because her parents weren't married when she was born, Teni knew her mother was a good woman. She couldn't let them drag her mother's name through the mud of Lagos. "Give me the pen," Teni whispered. She picked up the golden pen with a shaking hand. She began to read the terms. It was worse than she imagined. The paper stated that 1. She was never to return to Segun's house, not even to pick up a needle. 2. She was giving up all her shares in her father's company, Ademola Ventures. 3. All her inherited properties will be transferred to Segun as compensation for the shame she caused him. She was signing away her life. She was signing herself into the streets. With a heavy sigh, she scribbled her name, Teniola Ademole. The lawyer snatched the papers back, a greedy smile on his face. "Wise choice. I wish you luck. You need it." He turned and walked out of the ward without looking back. Teni collapsed back onto the bed and sobbed. She had been ruined. She had no parents, no husband, no home, and now no money. Outside the hospital, the lawyer climbed into a tinted SUV. Segun and Tiwa were sitting in the back seat holding hands. "She signed," the lawyer announced. "I used the threat about her mother. She folded like a piece of paper." "Brilliant," Segun shouted. "I'll add an extra 200,000 naira to your balance. I am finally free from that boring girl." Tiwa leaned her head on Segun's shoulder, looking very happy. "I told you it would work, baby. Now all the Mo family wealth belongs to us. Teni is just a ghost now." They drove off laughing, heading to a fancy restaurant in Victoria Island to celebrate their victory. 2 days later, Teni was discharged. She had no one to pick her up. She used the last bit of money in her purse to pay the hospital bill and took a taxi. She didn't know where to go, so she went to her father's house, the house she grew up in. She thought her stepmother, Molly, might have some pity on her. After all, it was Molly who forced her to marry Sego in the first place. But as the taxi pulled up to the gate, she saw the house was decorated with flowers. She could hear loud music and the smell of party jollof rice. Through the gate, she saw Tiwa and Sego dancing, surrounded by friends. Molly was there too, laughing and spraying them with money. Teni stayed inside the taxi, her heart breaking into a million pieces. Her own family was throwing a party to celebrate her downfall. "Madam, we are here," the driver said, looking at her through the mirror. He saw her tears. "Are you okay?" Teni didn't answer. She couldn't step out. If she went in there, they would only mock her. "Driver," she said, her voice cracking, "please, just drive. Take me anywhere. I have no home anymore." The driver sighed and shook his head. "Life is hard, my sister, but you must be strong." As the car drove away from her father's house, Teni looked out of the window at the Lagos skyline. She felt empty. But deep inside her, a small spark of survival was starting to burn. She didn't know how, but she knew she couldn't die like this.